Now, how do you buy your first rental property? Now, I want to walk you through the entire process, how to buy your first rental property, how to make money doing it. And hey guys, my name is Dustin Heiner with Master Passive Income. I'm here to show you how to quit that JOB, that just over broke job, by investing in real estate rental property so you never ever have to work a job again. And also, I have on the show with me Charles Rose Jr., who's was one of my students. Now he is a fantastic investor. He's going to share with us all of his insights as well. Charles, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. It is so good to be here with you, Dustin.
I remember starting work with you 2 years ago. You were fresh, never bought a property, and now you have how many properties now do you have?
8 rental properties right now, man. It is just unbelievable. And this system works at what you taught me. And I'm so glad for us to be sharing it with others today.
It's amazing how if you buy one rental property that makes you $250 a month, that's $3,000 a year. And if you had 10, that's $30,000 a year without working. So with you having 8 properties, that passive income has probably changed your life. Am I right?
It definitely has. And, it's so nice to see the passive income build up so we can get closer to retiring. So it is just so awesome.
That first property, was that a difficult property to buy? Was it kind of were you nervous and was it hard to buy? Because we're going to walk everybody through exactly how to do it. And you've done it. I've done it. I remember my first property was the hardest one to buy. Talk to us a little bit about yours.
Oh my God, yeah. Just thinking back at that first property, like when sometimes you get into real estate and you think that, oh, it's going to happen overnight. And one of the things that you reminded me early on is this is not overnight, but this is something that you can build, something that can bring you wealth. And so, even though I was just it was kind of scary getting my first property, but I'm so thankful that I had your course, I had your support to get me through it, which is some of the things we're going to talk about today. The very same things that you taught me, Dustin. I'm so glad that we can share it with others today.
It's such a blessing to be able to just share this with so many people and seeing them be able to change their lives as well. So, and I appreciate being on that journey with you. Okay, so the first step is in the entire process of finding and buying and getting your first real estate rental property is by finding the right area to invest in. Now, a lot of people think, and I used to think this, that you have to buy in your own city so you can literally drive there. I personally don't ever buy in my same city because I know my personality. I would literally drive over there at 2 a.m. to fix a toilet, which I don't want to do. And so now I make myself buy out of state. In fact, I invest all over the country. Students invest all over the country. Charles, I know you invest in 2 different states right now. And what are your thoughts about getting somebody to take the step and say, you do not have to drive to your property or even be able to drive? You can invest in many, many states over. What are your thoughts about that? Because that's something that I love, 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 is investing in other states and making lots of money with them.
That is something that I think that many of us struggle with. I was in the same shoe. I started off looking in a city that was an hour away from me, so I can drive there. But I would probably drive there all the time, and it wouldn't be a passive business. And so just getting in your mind that, hey, if I invest in the same city, it could be good. But at the same time, it may not be passive. If you're looking to master passive income, sometimes it can make it hard with the property being right there. I think one of the things that helped me to invest out of town is just learning how to do it right, how to build a business right, how to go through the whole process. And I think that gave me a lot more confidence in investing out of town.
Yeah, and for everybody watching this on YouTube or listening to this on the podcast, I actually have videos for literally every single one of these steps. So if you check in the description as we're telling you about doing this, like the first step is to find the right area of the country to invest. I literally have an entire video walking you through how I and all the other students here at Master Passive Income find new areas of the country, all over the country, to invest. So check in the description for all of these different videos of every single one of these steps that we are actually talking through. So the first one is finding the right area. What we look for are or areas that have homes that are lower in price. They're not 400,000. Like if you live in California, you buy a $400,000 house, you might rent it for like $1,500 a month. You're gonna be losing money. That's not gonna be a way to be able to buy your first property and make money. And so what we look for are areas of the country that have lower priced homes, and they also rent for a good amount. Like let's say you buy a house for $80,000 and you could rent it for maybe $900 to $1,000. well, you should be able to make a good amount of passive income. And remember, at Master Passive Income, we shoot for $250 or more every single month in passive income from every single property. And so I would rather buy a $80,000 house and make $250 a month than a $400,000 house with a $250 a month of passive income, because that mortgage for $400,000, that's like $2,000 a month. That's going to eat up a lot of your money if you have it not rented, that property not rented one time. And so as we're investing all over the country, we're looking for homes that are small, less in price. They're not your huge 3,000 square foot homes. Now, Charles, do you remember the cookie cutter home that we like to shoot for, that ones that we like to find and own?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that we always shoot for is we try to shoot for 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. In some areas, we'll go down to 3, 1 if all of the other homes in the neighborhood is roughly the same. We try to stick to 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 1,200 to 1,400 square feet, and it's so much better. Like, I mean, these properties, I don't have an issue renting them. Like, it's so easy to rent. Everybody's looking for these type of properties, almost everyone, and it helps in keeping that steady cash flow in your business when you have these cookie cutter homes.
And some people might say, well, why can't we buy a 3 bedroom that's like a 2,400 square foot house? And I'm like, well, you absolutely can, but think about it. That's 1,000 more square feet than we suggest. 1,200 to 1,400. That's 1,000 more square feet than we suggest. That's 1,000 more square feet of painting, of flooring, of roofing, of light fixtures, and all that sort of stuff. If you have 3 bathrooms, that's that much more toilet fixtures, all that sort of stuff. And so we love to rent to families that have, maybe 1, 2, 3 kids, and they work in the area. The kids go to school in the area. And so they're not going to move very much. And so we love renting in families, and families love to either own, which means they'll buy it from you whenever, if and when you want to sell it. More people would want to buy a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. That's 12 to 14, maybe 1,500 square feet, and more people would want to rent those as well. So we're trying to make sure we have our exit strategy taken care of, we have our monthly income taken care of, because we're able to we're buying those houses for cheaper than, like, say, like a 4 or 5 bedroom house, and that's 2,500 square feet, but we're still making a decent amount in rent, but we're shooting for $250 a month in passive income. So remember, I have that entire video, actually a few entire videos, showing how I literally walking you through step by step through the process, taking you through Zillow, finding the right area, a brand new area to invest in. So check in the description for all the videos of everything that we're talking about. Now, step number 2, after you find a good area of the country to invest, because you know where you're going to invest, you found a good city, you found the state, city, you narrowed everything down, the next step is to build the business. Now, you're going to hear me and Charles talk about this all the time. We build the business first. Now, a lot of people who teach how to invest in real estate, which is not what we do, they teach you how, like, okay, your property is your business. No, no, no. We don't believe that. We believe our properties are our inventory. Just like a can of soda in an adventure, like a convenience store, can of soda is their inventory. Our property is our inventory. Our business houses or owns many, many different properties. Now, also, I actually want to give you this entire stuff, everything written down in order, literally my entire course for free. If you go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course, all one word for it, free course, it'll be in the description as well. You can literally get everything outlined, walking you through, and then some, like even how to finance your properties, all that good stuff. So masterpassiveincome.com/free course, and I'll get that for you. Now, in building the business, what we're doing is, we already know the area, but we need to find the people in the area that are going to be running the business for us, the experts in the area. See, Charles relies on experts, like expert property managers, home inspectors, realtors, roofers, plumbers, and everybody and anybody in our business. We make sure we find the right people and fit them in our business. Now, Charles, when you were building your business, how was that process? Was it easy, or did it take a little bit of work? Because I'm not saying that Charles and I both know this entire process is simple, but you have to work. There's a reason why only few people that actually really get really going well in this is because they put the time. Just like you work a job, you're going to be putting the time in. You got to put the time. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get wealthy plan. So, Charles, when you were building the business, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I absolutely agree with you that it's not something that may necessarily be easy. It may be a simple step, but you have to put in the time. So, and putting in the time, what it looks like is talking to people, networking, meeting people, asking questions. There's some questions that that we talk about in the course and some of the content that Dustin issues is asking those right questions to build that team, to find a property manager, a contractor, and a home inspector. Because when you build your business right, it's going to give you so much more confidence when you put in the offers. In my mind, I know already as I'm looking for this property, I already have a team to help me to buy the property and to also help me manage the property. So building the business is so important and it's something that you should not skip.
And people kind of they do get caught up on this step. And the big reason why is because you got to be talking to a lot of people. Don't, in my opinion, I'm going to give you a huge pro tip. Don't rely on texting. Don't rely on emails. You really want to call these people that you're going to be working with, because if you're talking to somebody on the phone, you're going to have a much better judge of their character, of their experience level, if they know what they're talking about, or they're actually like they're reading a book trying to explain what they're doing because they don't know what they're doing. Actually talking to them on the phone is so much better. And you can also really get a sense of, do I trust this person or not? Everybody can judge somebody's character in a sense like, hey, do I just feel like this person's not being truthful? Hey, I would say listen to your gut. If somebody doesn't come across well to you, it might just be the way the conversation worked out. It might not be the person at all. But I know from every single time I've ever done this, which is like I own 30 plus properties now, what I do is I talk to people, and as I talk to somebody and somebody doesn't seem like to fit well with me, or it might just be me, like it might be my personality is not rubbing well with them, it's okay. I move on. There's plenty of other people they can work with. There's plenty of people I can work with. We're not going to waste each other's time. So you want to this is a big deal. Building the business first, finding the right people is absolutely this crucial, crucial, crucial in building the business.
And Dustin, I'd also add to that too. For some of those, this is the step where some people who would classify themselves as a shy person, they kind of get a bit nervous about this part. And so you met my wife, Dustin. She is a bit more shy than I probably am, and so some of the things that helped her was writing down a lot of the questions before the call. And she after the first one or two calls, she wasn't even using her paper anymore. So that's a quick tip for some of you who may feel a bit nervous about this stage, is sometimes you can write down questions, and after you practice a couple times, you'll be almost a pro at it.
That's a great, great tip. And it's great once you have that experience, it just comes off the tip of your brain. I mean, it just literally rolls off. I mean, I've been literally talking and teaching this for so long, it's just literally ingrained in me. I don't even have to think anymore. It just comes right out when I'm asking questions to new property managers or talking to realtors or sellers or anything like that. It just flows, because just like in your business, or sorry, in your job, if you're working a job right now, you probably know your job very, very well. You can literally do it with your eyes closed and your hands tied behind your back. You can do it that well. Same thing with this. It just takes time and takes experience. Now, the third step that we need to do as we are building our business and getting ready to where we buy our first property is starting to analyze properties. And when I say analyze properties, it's by running the numbers, knowing that you're going to make enough passive income every single month to feed your family. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm really not that smart. I'm numbers and math. I'm not a numbers person at all. In fact, I love hiring accountants because they are numbers people. I pay them to do it. Numbers to me go in my brain and they kind of float away and disappear. It's just the way my brain works. It's not good with numbers. Now, I've figured out that all you really need to do this business is to know multiplication, addition, and subtraction. That's it. It's super, super simple. Now, multiplication is very little, but let me show you how when you analyze the numbers, it's only addition and subtraction. So all you do is you find up all your expenses. Talk to your property managers, your realtors, inspectors, tax accountants, all that. You figure out what your expenses are. You add all those up. Add them all up, and let's say you get to $800 a month in expenses. Okay, that's great. You add all of that up. Then you talk to your property manager. Once you find a house, you say, property manager or realtor, how much can I rent this house for? And they might say, okay, you can rent it for $1,000. Really, realistically, you can get $1,000 rent. Well, shoot, you've already added up $800. You know you can get $1,000. Well, that difference right there is the passive income. Now that's $200 a month. 800 minus 1,000 or 1,000 minus 800 is $200. We shoot for $250 a month in passive income. That's what we shoot for. And now let me give you a little bit of multiplication. Remember, that was super simple math. Addition and subtraction. The next super simple is literally just scaling the business to be able to quit your job. So one property is $2,500 a month. So with one property being $250 a month, 10 properties is $2,500 a month. And if one property is $250 a month, that's $3,000 a year. 10 properties is $30,000 a year. Remember, it's just multiplication. 20 properties is $60,000 a year. That's it. That's all the math you need to know. Now, you might be thinking about accounting and all that sort of stuff. We pay accountants to do the accounting. That's why they're named. They're named accountants. Now, Charles, what do you think about running the numbers and learning that process? Because I know I've done it so many times now. I could literally look at a property, see where it's at, know the expenses and know the income, and know within like literally 2 minutes if I'm going to buy the property or if it's worth me doing more number checking. What are your thoughts about analyzing the property?
So Dustin, yeah, I think you covered everything on the numbers. I mean, you definitely covered what they should be looking at. What I would also like to add to that is when you look at your numbers, try to be real with your numbers, or more on the conservative side. I know that, sometimes you can get emotionally attached to this deal, and you may want the rent to be more, but sometimes that rent may be a lot less than what you're expecting. And so that's why we want to rely on our experts on the ground. We want to rely on our property managers. Now, after investing in Memphis for almost 3 years now, I know the rents. I know the areas. So as I learn the area more, then I know the numbers. So I just would add to that, Dustin, is to be conservative on some numbers, especially if you don't know. Now, if the property manager tells you the number and you like it, great. But don't change the number just because you're trying to make it work, because you don't want to hurt yourself. Remember, we want to make at least $250 per property. So that's what I would add to that part with analyzing, Dustin. I think you covered it all. I just wanted to add that one piece.
I think it's a great idea. And that's something that when you're thinking of conservatively, if you're adding up your expenses, conservative would be you add just a little bit more, like maybe add 5 or 10% on top of what you think your total expenses are. In that way, even if your numbers work, you're going to be surprised on the good side rather than, oh man, we're paying more money in expenses. No, you're like, oh shoot, there's a surplus. That's money I keep. Same thing on conservative end. If you think $1,000, or let's say your property manager says you should be rented for like $1,050, well, maybe drop it to $1,000 and just run your numbers there. So if you're doing that, if you're conservative on the lower end with the rent and conservative on the higher end with expenses, you're going to be much better off if you try to fudge the numbers to make it work. We don't want to make things work. We want them to work. Once they work, we're going to buy the property.
I wanted to add like a practical example. So I remember with my first property, when I analyzed all of my numbers, and it turns out that my insurance number was too low. And so when I got a firm insurance quote, it was a lot higher than I expected. And so, but because I assumed less rents, like I brought my rent number down a little bit, and I went a little bit higher on some of the expenses, it was able to still cover me, and I'm making around $380 in passive income on that first property. So thank God I was conservative on my numbers, because I made a mistake on the insurance number, and because I fluffed the other numbers, for lack of better words, it was able to still make it a good investment.
I love it because you're protecting yourself. It's super terrific. Okay, so the next step is to put in multiple offers. Now, Charles, you and I, so we have the Real Estate Wealth Builders here at Master Passive Income. It's a membership where we're coaching people. We have courses. We have student success program. We have networking. We have everything that a student would need or somebody would need to start investing. And so in our group coaching that we had lots of people asking the question or talking about putting in multiple offers. Because now, if you put in one offer a month, it's going to take a very long time before you actually get one accepted, especially the way we invest. As investors, we want to buy the property where we capture equity. So when I say capture equity, it means I'm buying it for less than it's worth. Let's say it's worth $100,000. I'm trying to buy it for at least $90,000, maybe $85,000. So I'm capturing equity. If you're doing that too, it's going to be even harder to find good properties. Now, the cure to that, or the way to get around that, is to literally put in multiple offers all at one time. And what's great is, so Charles, you were explaining on the group coaching call in Real Estate Wealth Builders membership, you were explaining how you were putting in multiple offers all the time, like daily putting in offers. And we get questions like, oh my goodness, what happens if all of them get accepted at one time? Tell me your answer to that. If all of them get accepted at one time.
So yeah, so if you get first of all, if you get all of them accepted at one time, that is very rare that it'll happen. But if it does happen, there are things that you can do. You can use private money, hard money. You could use a lot of these different types of money to buy them all if you can. If you can't buy them all, you can wholesale the deal. You could also just not accept it anymore. Because if you get all the offers in at exactly one time, there's other buyers who may want to buy the property. So you can do. There's a couple of things that you can do, but it's very rare that you would get all accepted one time. Dustin, I think you said maybe you got two accepted at most in all of your years investing.
Yeah. So out of all the years of investing, I had 30 plus properties and I've put in multiple offers. Like in a day, I'll put in two or three in a day on different properties. And I think out of all the times doing it, I literally only had one where I had two in escrow at the same time. So one, they accepted it and it was going into escrow. And I had lots of other offers out there. And then another one came about 2 or 3 weeks later. So I'm going in escrow on both of these properties. Praise the Lord, I had enough money, I had financing, I had everything taken care of to do it. But I literally like get that thought out of your head, like, oh my goodness, if I get all 20 accepted at one time, well, you're not number one because you're going to be negotiating. If you offer like what we do here at Master Passive Income, if they're asking 100,000, we're going to put offer for that's going to be advantageous for us 78,000, maybe 75,000, and we're going to be working our way up. So eventually, if you're doing that with all your properties negotiating, you'll see one coming and you're like, okay, this one's I just got in a contract, I'm negotiating over here. I can't buy both, but maybe I could figure out how to wholesale the second one. And that's a great thing about the real estate wealth builders as well. We have so many other students that literally do this entire process with us and they know the process. They're looking for properties too. You could bring that to all the students and say, hey, I have this great property. Here's a wholesale deal. I'll only charge $1,000 or whatever you want to charge for it. But you can buy the deal and you can be making $200-300 a month in passive income if you just buy the deal. So we have investors already ready for you. We even have people that want to invest their money that are inside the community as well. So does that make sense, Charles? I mean, because it seems like as we put in more offers, we get more deals, but we don't need to worry about getting all of them at one time.
That's exactly right. You don't have to worry about getting all at one time. What you should be concerned about, what you should be working on is putting in more offers. The more offers you put in, the better the chance will be. It's just like anything in life. The more action you put into anything, the more better you'll be at it. The more hours you put into maybe playing the piano or whatever your skill is, you'll get better at it. And I remember that was so profound because when I shared with Dustin through the coaching program that I wanted to retire early, so I had to calculate, what that retirement number was, or the financial independence number. And one of the things that Dustin advised me to do was to put in multiple offers, not just one offer a week or one offer a month. Put in a couple offers a day so I can reach that goal quicker. And it has helped so much because it's just so amazing how I was able to build my portfolio to 8 properties in such a short time, and in about maybe a year and a half. And Dustin has other students like my success partner. So we have a student success coaching program. We have a student success partner program in with the Wealth Builders, and one of my success partners, Benjamin. I mean, he is like crushing it. He's putting in tons of offers, and I mean, I think he has like 7 or 8 duplexes now.
I think
He's
it's
just
eight
crushing it.
duplexes, yeah.
He has
And
8
literally in like 18 months, he's
in
gotten
18
that
months.
many duplexes, yeah.
That is so awesome to see what Benjamin is doing. And I know for sure that Benjamin is putting in many offers.
And on top of that, he's already at $5,000 a month in passive income from these duplexes. I mean, that's 16. If he has 8 duplexes, that's 16 doors that are hopefully making him around $200 a month. Because it's a duplex, so it's a little bit less per unit. But he's at close to $5,000. That's life changing money. That's $60,000 a year. Oh man! So now, once you have started putting in many offers, you're putting in offers. Hopefully, you're going to get one under contract. Not say hopefully, you will get one under contract because you're putting in many offers. you get one under contract. The first thing that you need to do is you need to have your experts that are there running the business for you. Remember, not in your same city or your same state, many states over. Like you could be investing out of state and have your experts do all this work for you because remember, we built the business first. And as always, I have all the videos literally showing you how to do every single step. I'll hopefully have everything in the description for you. Now, as you're actually going through and having your experts look at the properties, you number one need your property manager to review or walk through the property because they need to know what they're getting into, like how much it's going to cost to rehab, because they're hopefully going to be doing the rehab for you. They're going to give you a quote or an estimate for how much it's going to cost to fix up the property. And on top of that, having experts look at the property, once you have it under contract, you're going to have your home inspector. They're going to do a full home inspection on your property as well. Never, ever, ever skip doing a home inspection. That's like, if you're going to do anything, if there's any one thing, like don't think, oh, I might be wasting $400. No, it's not wasting. I would rather waste $400 than buy a $100,000 house that's junk that I literally need to put another $30,000 into. So invest that money. Number one, have your property manager walk through the property, tell you how much it's going to cost to fix up. And then number two, make sure that you have a home inspection in the inspection period window. Should have 10-day inspection period where you can get your earnest money back. I have another video on earnest money. It's basically your quick deposit. So you want to do that because they're going to be the experts on the ground. They're your eyeballs. They're your ears. They're your everything. Trust them. They're going to do the work for you. What do you think, Charles?
I cannot stress how important it is enough that it's so important to get a home inspection. It is, to me, it's like it's crazy not to get one because you need to find out all of the issues, all of the good, the bad, and the ugly with the home before you purchase it. So definitely have your property manager walk through, have your home inspection done. Don't miss out on doing that inspection because it could be very, 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 very dangerous if you do that. And don't trust pictures on Zillow or Redfin all the time. So I remember looking at this house on Zillow, and the pictures look so great. I thought I hit a home run when I saw the house. I was like, man, this is a good property. Just looking at the photos. Well, when my home inspector did the inspection on the property, man, it was just terrible. Like, I'm like, is that the same house? Like, I had to like look and see, did I give him the wrong address? And so it's so important to not skip that step of having your experts look at the property. And like Dustin said, rely on them. They are going to help you to buy a good investment.
Also, on top of that, the next step, once you already have the home inspection, you have the property under contract, you're going through the process, the contract goes to a title company. And don't worry, your realtor, like literally everything's mapped out for you. If you're using a realtor, they'll take care of all that. A title company is going to take care of all that. But what you want to do, this is a big pro tip, is negotiate. Not trying to like take more money out of the deal, but let's say you're in the 10-day inspection window. Remember, that's a tip I'm giving you. Make sure you have a 10-day window for home inspection or basically just reviewing the property, making sure it's a good property so you can get your deposit, your earnest money back. Now, what you're going to do in this time is with that home inspection, you're going to get that home inspection back, review that home inspection, see what could be potentially wrong. A roof might be bad, the furnace might be, on its last leg, or there might be foundation issues, whatever it might be, you review it. And on top of that, you also want to figure out how much it's going to cost to fix up. Let's say it's a roof that's going to go bad really soon, or it's already leaking, or there's something wrong with the roof. You didn't know it at the time, now you do. You can take that back in that 10-day window of inspection, go back to the seller and say, hey, the roof is bad. We need to actually have the entire thing replaced. So I need you to replace the entire roof or credit me the entire cost. It's going to be $6,000 for me to repair the entire roof. Credit me that amount. So you can renegotiate in that inspection window. Even if, and I was some of my coaching students will say, oh, it says on listing as is, sold as is. I'm like, those are just words. Those are literally just words. It's not like a contract sold as is. They can always say no if you request something. They could always say yes. They could also negotiate. So Charles, you did that once where you had a roof and you were looking at it. Hey, it might be going bad, and you got some money out of the seller. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and this was actually on my first property. So I remember when the inspection report came back, it showed that the roof would need to be replaced. And so, and one of the things that Dustin and I were able to do, Dustin looked at the report through my first property just to make sure that I was looking at the right thing. And one of the things Dustin advised me to do was to actually go to the seller and ask them to split the cost of the roof. And it was kind of scary for me to go back to the seller because I was so nervous. Like, with it being my first deal, I was thinking, oh, I don't want to lose the deal. But it's a good thing I went back to the seller and asked him to split the cost, and without fighting or anything, the seller agreed to split the cost on the roof, and so I was able to bring the price down even more through getting that credit for the roof repairs. And
And
the other the other
here's
thing I
one
wanted to
thing.
add
Oh, go ahead.
the other thing I want to add to that, Dustin, is the home inspector. He's also a contractor, and he told me, he said, honestly, Charles, you could probably get away for like 5 to 10 years with just patching the roof. Also, if you want to, you can replace it or you can patch it. And to me, that's great because I can let the property cash flow and I could build up, I can save for the roof repairs, so I'm still not paying for it myself.
Yes, exactly. That's so awesome. So you asked them for that credit. You got the credit, so basically half of what it's going to cost to repair it. And you didn't even have to spend that money. Like you didn't have to spend that money. They gave you a credit, and you didn't have to spend your extra money. That's even better. That's basically just a discount on the property. Eventually, next 4 or 5 years, it might have a leak. You could patch it, or at worst case scenario, have it repaired. But you're right. Now your tenants have been giving you your capital expenses. You're saving that money for repairs. Your capex, like you were saving all that money so that you could have your tenants that are paying for that roof. But all that money was just money in your pocket. So good for you, man. Okay, so the last thing that we needed to do is we need to get our financing ready and close on the property. So before this big thing, you want to have all your financing all ready. If you're going to do private money, if you're going to do a mortgage, if you're going to do a commercial loan, if you're going to do a home equity line of credit, whatever it might be. And in fact, I have an entire video literally walking you through all the 14 different ways to get financing. Check the description for that video. But literally 14 different ways to finance your properties. You need to get all that set up before you get into a contract so that when you're in a contract, boom, they're already off to the races. So you say, go ahead and start moving and get the financing going, private money, or you have a hard money lender, whatever it might be. You have them all ready. Charles, every single time, you're a master at this. You have lots and lots of ways. You've bought many properties with private money, with hard money lenders, with commercial loans, conventional loans, all that sort of stuff. Now, you plan that out beforehand, correct?
You definitely want to plan it out beforehand so that you can be ready to close on the property. And this is another topic for another day. But if you're going to buy with hard money or private money, which Dustin has many videos on those, if you're going to do that beforehand, you need to know that you have at least one. I like three. I like to have three banks ready that I know for sure they're able to refinance this property. So definitely having your lenders on board. One of the things I even do is get a pre-approval letter before I even start looking for properties, and that gives me the confidence knowing that I can buy this property once I get it under contract.
Before we buy properties, we know we have the money or the means to be able to buy those properties. And then the last step is literally to close on the property. Once you close on the property, and here's a big key tip I'm going to give you, because I get some students that said, "Oh man, the property manager, they're not going to be able to get to it for like 3 weeks." I'm like, "No, they need to be ready." So all that entire time that you're in escrow, which is usually about a month, maybe 45 days, escrow means it's a process of changing over from seller to buyer. You want to say, "Property manager, we are going to be done," or contractor, "we're going to be done on this day." Have your crews ready to get in that property on day one. As soon as we have the keys, I want you in there fixing up the property, because we don't want it sitting around, because that's money wasted. We want to get that money moving into that property, getting it fixed up so that we can get it rented and then get our money out in rent. So that's how you do it. That's how you buy your first property. There's so much more on managing and all that stuff. We have videos for all that stuff. But hey, everybody, for watching this and listening to us on podcasts, you guys are awesome. Charles, thanks for being here. You guys, we will see you in the next one.